Item: SCP-800. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-800 is currently contained in a 50 cm x 200 cm x 2 cm hermetically sealed glass case. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and mimetic, are to be in place at all times, according to standard operating procedure. No maintenance is necessary on SCP-800 itself, despite its apparent age, but its case is to be cleaned of dirt and dust every 6 days. No paint, ink, other writing materials, or any staining fluids are to come into contact with SCP-800 except under controlled testing conditions and with prior O5 level approval. Description: SCP-800 is a 42 cm x 166 cm East Asian paper scroll painting of variable style and subject. Radioisotopic dating has determined that it dates from the mid-19th century. SCP-800 currently displays as an ink painting of 2 Korean warriors placed above one another, the upper armed with a bow and the lower armed with a Sangyeom-style sword. The painting style resembles 17th century Joseon dynasty art, despite SCP-800's paper scroll being more common in Japanese or Chinese painting. According to information gained from SCP-800's previous custodians, as well as an investigation of a number of photographic records, the scene depicted on SCP-800 has been observed to spontaneously take 12 distinct forms since the beginning of the 20th century. It is theorized that SCP-800 has changed to depict symbolic representations of every major armed conflict in East Asia, as well as a number of armed conflicts in Indochina and one in Central Asia. As there is no major Asian armed conflict at the present time, currently the SCP appears to represent the tensions between the two Koreas as an important flashpoint for military action. The mechanism by which SCP-800 changes is unknown, and no changes have been recorded electronically, despite constant surveillance of SCP-800 since it entered Foundation custody in 1979. SCP-800 has always been observed as an ink painting, usually in Japanese or Chinese style. Korean-style paintings have also been observed, including SCP-800's current appearance, as mentioned previously. The era of painting does not correspond to SCP-800's observed age, with painting styles observed from the 15th century Ming dynasty to contemporary East Asian art. Nations are commonly represented as national animals, such as a Chinese dragon, bear, presumably representing Russia, or eagle, presumably representing the United States. However, the symbolism in SCP-800 is often subtle and nations may often be represented by plants, landscapes, or people. For a detailed list of SCP-800's manifestations, see Addendum 801. SCP-800 may be marked or damaged by normal means. However, any stains on the painting disappear after a number of days. The paper SCP-800 appears on may be torn, but tears in the painting likewise regenerate after some days. It is possible to alter the content of SCP-800 semi-permanently by using identical materials and painting in a similar style to that of SCP-800's current incarnation. However, after the events of Experiment 801, all proposed alterations to SCP-800 require O5 level approval. See Addendum 802 for more information. SCP-800 was retrieved in January 1979 from an antiques shop in the city of, in the southeast of the Republic of Korea. The proprietor, one Mr. M, claimed to have a magic painting which altered its appearance over the years. At the time, it displayed its present appearance. It was discovered on chance by Dr., who was skeptical of its owner's claims and only wished to purchase it for personal use. However, Dr. noticed that it possessed at least some extra normal properties by accidentally staining it with ink, then noticing the stain had disappeared after a period of 2 days. Upon Foundation examination it was determined to be of no SCP level significance and put in storage at site. It attained SCP classification in mid-1979, at the beginning of the Sino-Vietnamese border war, when it changed overnight to an 18th century Qing dynasty painting of a Chinese dragon flying over rice paddies, SCP-810. After this event, Foundation staff tracked down Mr. M for interrogation. It was revealed the painting had been in his family since the beginning of the 20th century, when his grandfather purchased it from a merchant in Shanghai. As Mr. M was the only known source of information on SCP-800 and its prior appearances, he was recruited as a research assistant and was SCP-800's caretaker until 2007, when he died of natural causes. Dr. Major subsequently took responsibility for SCP-800's custody.